Welcome back to the workshop on quite a nice Thursday morning, which it is. Hey. This is probably attempt number 5 to make this video, and I've been finding that I'm coming up with all good ideas which I hadn't even contemplated when I first came out into the garage this morning. And it's all due to making these videos. Have I ever mentioned, oh yes I have mentioned that the use of the videos for the Dave diary entry, which this is expressly for this purpose? I started making videos and then I thought, oh, these might be interesting to other people, but the videos were already being made so that I could reference it in the future, because quite often, not necessarily in this situation because this is a once-off, but there are circumstances where when I'm building something, I need to go back and go, what the hell was I thinking back then? I go back, look at the video, and I go, oh, yeah, that's right, and I can carry on. I've done some of the work already, and I've recorded it on the video. In fact, I did it in one of the videos that I've deleted with this door here, which we'll get to very shortly. And on the door, I'd made up a template, a jig, for the obelisks that I made some time ago. In fact, if I swing around here, I know the lighting's not great. Let's go outside so the camera normalizes. The obelisks that are on top of the planters, I decided that, I want them all the same. So I actually made a template up, and I used the door to make the template or the jig. So that's what I did there. Got them all the same that way. And, that's a different one. Different type, in fact. Anyway, you didn't need to know that. Now you do. The door turns out, because I thought it was a solid core door, turns out to be hollow core. Oh, that makes life a little bit more tricky for using it as, or for mounting blocks or brackets or things too, so that I can hang my, in this case, clamps. This was one of the little hanging jig thingies I used to support or hang the clamps off. Anyway, I'll get back to that. Deciding that I'm going to use this door to infill there, I thought I've got a choice. Seeing it's solid core in my mind, I could possibly cut that little notch out so I can tidy it up and then it will look a whole lot better. Deciding that I wasn't going to do that was a good idea as well, as it turns out. Hollow core door, not a wise idea to cut that off, because you would cut your entire frame off the side. The frame is only about 30 millimeters wide all the way round. That is a lock block for doing all, just imagine putting locks into. And it's a nice solid piece of timber. That's why they call it a lock block, obviously. But anyway, don't have to cut it down because I made that decision, fortunately. But I do have to cut it down height-wise. The opening is 1955. A standard door height, which this is 1980. So I've got to cut 15 mils off top and bottom. That leaves a very thin rail top and bottom, which will be fine, but really it's not ideal. Oh, hang on. What happens if I reskin the whole door with some, say, 12 mil ply? That will stiffen up the door and it will give me the chance to screw onto that ply a bracket or hooks or anything for mounting whatever tools I want to mount to it, because that's what I want to make use of the door for, or that whole wall actually, to mount things to. Then I thought, hang on a minute, because I put this up on the door. This is one of these other good ideas that only came about by making these sorts of videos. I make the videos, in fact, I started making the videos just as a digital diary. And then I started thinking, well, maybe, just maybe, some of the stuff I was doing would be of benefit or interest to other people. Hey, you never know. So, and I talk a lot. So, the combination probably is, match made in hell. The ideas were coming thick and fast, and then this morning, more ideas came thick and fast, and I thought, let's use the actual, in this case, we'll just call them a bracket. Okay, let's use the mounting bracket as the skin for the door itself, rather than making a whole surface. Just use the strips. That's not a bad idea, and they don't end there. That way I can bring them out here, mount them to the rail. It spans across there. I don't have to worry about that being a hollow core door, and fix it on each side, and hey, presto. Oh, when you mount them like this, you've got to be really careful that they don't bind against the wall as you open it, and they will. So that was a bit of a problem. Hang on, what happened if I mount my hinges to the ply, and I can keep the bracket itself back a little bit? Well, that'll work. Oh, hang on. Using this type of hinge means that the mounting holes would be right out in the ply. Almost certainly you'd get delamination and severe problems, and I'm going, can't use these hinges. And these are a commercial hinge. You get ones that look like this but aren't as good as this. As I said, this is a commercial hinge. It's a proper bearinged hinge. Takes a lot of weight. And you get ones that are identical to it or look identical, but they're not bearinged. They haven't got the durability of them. Anyway, that's irrelevant. So now that I can't use my preferred hinge, darn it, how do I get round it? Well, we'll get to that in a moment. Maybe. I was looking at the door. That's a good idea. We'll be using that in a slightly different form. Now, I know that the door is 960 wide, quite a wide door. That is about, let's go measure it again. It's about 1.70 meters, something like that. Hang on. Let's just have a look. Yep. It's 1.70 meters. So that's actually a big door. And then when you add weight to it, it's a big door. And it's very likely to have problems. I could put a strip of 120 mil down there, or whatever, 110 mil down there. Close the door up. No. What say I make the door even wider? Remembering that the door's already probably loading up quite a bit with all the weight. Let's make it wider still and make the problem even worse. But if I infill, I was thinking about putting a 110 mil strip on the end here, doweling it and gluing it up, doing it properly. That might be a good way of extending the door and making it a single door without the hassle of making an infill panel or wee hinged thingy. What happened if I square up the door? I'll get into that in a moment. Square up the door on either side with the track saw and glue a 60 mil or a 55 mil piece on each side. Oh, that would probably be better. Still has to be done well, because remember, the door's going to take a bit of weight. Well, the plywood would certainly help. I could span the plywood across, screw it to the door and the added on piece on each side. Oh yeah, that'll help. Doweled and glued. It's going to be pretty strong. I should have, it should work. Then I thought, oh, hang on, I will have to, and I'll probably jump the gun there before, I'll have to trim the edge, because the doors have been eased, and you'll find that either one or both sides, generally one side, has been eased. Some doors do not come pre-eased, and an eased door means that the edge of the door has got a slight chamfer on it, a slight angle on it, and that's to permit it to, as it swings closed, for the gap to remain pretty constant when it's closed. If you didn't ease the door, the first edge to hit the door frame will bind or hit or not even close. Or you have to trim it back so much that you've got a flame great gap down the side, and it looks particularly ugly. Anyway, you don't need to know that, but now you do. I've said that a few times. I'm going to have to square this edge up to take the eased angle off, and I'll probably just do that just to tidy it up on that side as well. Lots of dowels. Really, it only needs a few dowels on each end, to be fair. In fact, I could glue the piece in and dowel it through the surface. May even do that. I'm not farting around worrying about concealing the dowels, but I just might anyway. Just out of the sheer sense of duty to fine carpentry. Yeah, right. Not in this workshop. So now that I've added the two pieces to each side, I've got strips of ply coming straight across. I can probably think about mounting the door with these hinges again, because I'll have solid timber to mount to. And the brackets, well, they get to live inboard of the strips that I'm adding on here, meaning the door would come out to here, and this means this is not going to bind on the door or the wall when I open it. The door, yeah. The thing is, I can't open it much anyway, because the concrete down there sticks out. So as I open the door, that's going to be a natural point of, it was going to bind. And that's why I did actually angle it back, because I had that in mind, that it would be nice to have the door opening a little bit more than 90 degrees. But could I chisel a bit more off of the concrete? Yeah, I could. Will I? Maybe. But yeah, I was aware that that binding issue might occur. It will definitely occur with this. So I've got to be mindful. Oh, here, but it's been set back a little bit because it's got its mounting points on the rail. But the packer on either side, big door though, a lot of weight. Better get it right. Otherwise it'd be a bit embarrassing. Because guess what? I'd have to make a video of that when it failed, if it failed. Better get it right. Anyway, the only failure point really will be at, this will, depending on which side I hinge, it will be at the top. At the bottom, it will be compression, and the door will always want to push back against itself and the jamb, and therefore the dowels and the glue. The only point is at the top where it will want to pull away, and that is something that you will have to resist. And you do that by making a landing pad on the closed edge, so that as the door closes, it actually runs onto and is supported by the landing pad. So there are ways around it. That's 5 points that I hadn't considered before coming out here this morning. What we can do to this door. Wow. Did I mention about the benefit of the video? Yes, I know I have. I've made a very strong point of that. And as I said, really, they were created before I actually started the Dave's Diary series. Hey, rightio. I know these are wordy sorts of videos to watch and are dead boring, and very few probably will want to persevere, make their ears bleed, but they do have some points that may be of benefit. And if they're not, you've already gone and done something else. So probably wise people you. Okay, well, I better get some work done. I've been talking, not working. Jeez. like that ever happens with me. No, won't go there. Right. I'll leave you alone, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye now.